Hey guys, it's Jason here. Welcome back to the channel and welcome to the video. Today we're going to be doing an upgrade on the Typhon. Now, if you've seen me on Instagram or even watched some of the other videos, you know that I picked up an M2C chassis for it. This was one of the original things that when I was buying the Typhon, I knew I was going to be doing before I even had the Typhon in my possession. So I knew I was going to be upgrading the shock towers. So I've got the KC-RC shock towers on the buggy. I knew I was going to be widening it, and I knew I was going to be picking up a chassis. Now, I did want the Scorched RC titanium chassis really bad, and I've been watching that site, guys, now for months. Even again, guys, before I even ordered the Typhon, I've been watching that site. I wanted the chassis. It's just never in stock. He doesn't run them very often, so unfortunately when they come up, they pretty much go within a day and then that's it. So either way, guys, we're going to be installing the chassis. I also picked up an aluminum diff cup for the center diff, just that one right now, but I am going to be changing the fluids in the buggy today. I'll probably go 500 in the center and then maybe like a 50-40 or a 40-30, I'm not sure. But either way, guys, let's get to installing that chassis. All right, guys, we're moving along. As you can see, I've already got the whole rear assembly installed on the chassis. It's one thing that's nice about doing these chassis conversions is that when it comes to the rear, there's basically 4 bolts under here, 1 for the brace. Take that off the old chassis, put it down on the new one, and you can just start to see your new kind of build take shape, which I always like. Down here, guys, I was using this Savox servo in my Mojave EXP, and I did want to bring it over to the Typhon just because of running the bigger tires, the fact that I also widened the buggy. I wanted to keep my steering nice and sharp, nice and quick. So I removed this off the Mojave, and I did have the Basherqueen servo mount installed on that truck as well. I have about 2 or 3 of these mounts. I like these mounts because they are taller, so they fit a lot more servos. I'm going to kind of bring you guys in closer. You can see what I mean by that. All right, guys, so you can see here you've got the EXP brace on the left and the Basherqueen one on the right, and you can see the difference. You'd have to have this thing up almost about this high to kind of use that taller servo, or you got to use big kind of like spacers. Now the Basherqueen does have carbon fiber ones that you could lay in here and then put the servo on top. Personally, guys, I just prefer this mount in general. I'd rather just use a mount than have to use the spacer. So either way, guys, we've got that going now. I'm going to continue installing everything else. But actually, it just dawned on me too. That's why I left this open like this. I wanted to show you guys one other thing, and that is this right here. When I removed the stock Typhon bumper, so this little guy right here, it's got this little piece that sits on here like this, and then that slides on right here. It holds on your hinge pins. When I went to the Creighton bumper, so this is the RPM Creighton bumper, you don't have that little piece that sits right here. So today I was kind of just sizing everything up. This is a Basherqueen gasket, and when I sat this on, I realized, hey, I'm missing something here. And I was kind of puzzled for a second. I thought, what did I not put on? What didn't I do? So I went back to the original bumper, and that's when I realized that it's this piece right here. So what I ended up doing, guys, was just, I cut it right here. So I just dremeled this off. So now this sits on there. Now you can see that the gasket itself will sit on here. It'll sit properly. It'll give a nice good seal. And then when you install the RPM hinge pin kind of little carrier sort of front piece, all is going to be good. So now you guys can see everything is good. Everything's going to line up. There's going to be support where you need it. Again, that's just, guys, kind of a mistake I made. I don't remember, I don't think I even looked at the instructions if there was any. I don't know if it said to remove this piece to put it under here or not, but either way, like I said, guys, I just took a Dremel, cut it off. Now I've got it in there, so everything will be good to go. But anyways, let's keep going. All right, guys, there it is. In typical fashion, I got excited, so I had to finish. And man, does this thing look really, really good. Obviously, the chassis is kind of hidden behind everything else. But yeah, I love the raw look. I have the raw chassis, the Vitivon one on my sledge. And I just really like the look of that. I kind of like having, you know, sort of the smaller parts be the anodized parts. Like obviously, guys, shock towers, braces, stuff like that. But overall, guys, that is awesome. And you know, it was funny. I was looking down at this thing and I was thinking about it. And I thought, you know what? This is like a really good build. And what I mean by that is we don't have anything too extreme. We haven't added a bunch of aluminum. So it's not like I've got every aluminum part for this thing that you could. I just kind of did the strength where it was needed. So obviously, guys, in the chassis, the KC-RC 7075 shock towers. These, by the way, are 6.5 millimeters thick. So they're absolute beast. And then obviously, guys, the EXP braces down here. But besides from that, guys, and the diff cup, everything else is basically stock and still plastic. So when I did the widening, so when I did the Creighton hubs and the rear carriers, those are just Creighton ones. They're just stock Arrma ones. They're not hot racing or Vitivon or anything like that. So I didn't add an extreme amount of weight. And the same guys goes for the electronics. I'm still running stock ESC and stock motor. Once the summer gets here and I start running this truck outside and actually being able to put the power down, get some traction, all that kind of fun stuff, I'll probably first start with the pinion, and I'll see what I can go to temp-wise and all that kind of stuff, how much I can gear this thing up. While I was working on the buggy today and removing the servo and the servo mount from the Mojave, a few times I almost thought, you know what, let's just pull this combo out of here, throw the Spectrum one in the Mojave, and try this 2200 kV with the Mama Monster X8S in the Typhon, because this combo, guys, is an absolute blast. I have the 1650 in the sledge with the Mama Monster X8S, and it's an absolute beast in the sledge, but the sledge has got a lot of weight to it. Mojave's not so bad. This little 2200 just screams tons of RPMs. So I can only imagine, guys, in something like the Typhon, that 2200 would just make this thing an absolute rocket, because stock electronics out of the box is awesome. I've been ripping this thing, guys, now on paddles a few times, and it is insane. So again, to go to something like a bigger ESC with the 2200, being able to play even more with the pinion, I think it would be pretty crazy. But anyways, guys, that's it. So we now have the M2C chassis, the KC-RC front and rear shock towers, the Basherqueen carbon fiber servo mount running the Savox servo, the 1211. This is a fast servo, guys, not a huge amounts of torque. I think it's like 300 and something, but it's got some crazy speed, so it's definitely going to work well in the buggy. We've got the EXB braces, like I've mentioned a few times, all the stock electronics, Creighton hubs, Creighton rear hub carriers. So obviously all the axles and everything that you have to do to go with widening the buggy. And we are going to be running the Proline belted MX28s. Only the reason I say, guys, going to be is because I've now had them for a while and I still haven't got around to running them just because of the winter and all that kind of fun stuff. So, but guys, yeah. That looks pretty insane. I'm definitely going to be carrying this thing around my house tonight and checking it out because it looks awesome. But as always, if you enjoyed this video, guys, give me a big thumbs up. Please subscribe. And yep, there are a few pics.